Is it possible to make an outrageous, unbelievable burger, but totally vegan? This one's inspired by a meatloaf, and the key ingredient is Sir Kensington's ketchup. So I've got a cast iron on a medium-high heat. I'm just gonna add a couple of glugs of olive oil in. And then I've got what's called mirepoix, which is celery, onions, and carrots. And this goes in every meatloaf. So we're gonna kind of just sweat this down. A lot of salt to this, just so it starts to kind of draw out the moisture and kind of sweats this as opposed to caramelizing it. We're not looking for like a really dark color. We're looking for more of that sweetness just to kind of start hinting. I've got some garlic here, 3 cloves. Just gonna smash the little jackets off of them. Give it a little shake. Come on, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna give these now another smash and give that a little chop through. So just roughly chopped garlic right in with all the other ingredients. And let it kind of start doing its thing. Next up is Sir Kensington's ketchup. We've got our bun. Now we are gonna use brioche as our bun. This isn't gonna be like the normal everyday hamburger bun. We're going square on this one. So I'm gonna just cut this into kind of big pieces, small pieces. All right, so this is gonna replace breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna put this in the food processor and it's gonna kind of soak up all the juices. I then have lentils. So these are canned lentils. I got rid of the juice, so I completely drained it. And those are gonna go right in over the bread. That's gonna be kind of our meat replacement. Finally, I've got our vegetables, which have been sweated for a while now. Just making it more sweet, more rich, more delicious. I'm gonna pick up this whole thing, kind of add it right in. And then I'm gonna pulse. So this looks like we've got ground meat, right? If you pick it up, it almost looks like the same texture that maybe a meatball would be. I'm gonna grab a little bit more olive oil, add it to a cast iron skillet. Once that oil gets nice and hot, we're gonna kind of drop this batter, or you can call this, right, the patties. So I got a huge spoonful, right? And you can see the texture. It looks, smells totally like meatloaf. 1 spoonful down, a little bit more on top. So confidently getting underneath these patties. Give it a good flip, those are great. All right, so I'm just gonna remove these patties to a little plate here, one to a plate, the other to some toasted bread that I think will catch all the juices, everything in it. You can use a bun. I just think with meatloaf, bread kind of says it all. I'm gonna grab a little bit of, what do I have here? What is this? Some whiskey. All right, stand back a little bit for this part. We're gonna let that cook down. And then I'm gonna add some vegetable stock. And we're basically making a gravy. I'm even gonna add a little bit more, like a teaspoon of Sir Kensington's ketchup, which is gonna give it a little viscosity and a little bit more of that kind of caramely vibe. So I'm gonna mix this all together, kind of scraping the bottom. So a little black pepper goes a long way in a gravy. I love it. It just kind of sets it off. And then I'm gonna go with like a tablespoon and a half of vegan cream. All right, so our gravy, you can see, is really thick. It's not too thick. And we're gonna drizzle it right over the top of our vegan burger. This to me screams Sunday dinner. I'm just gonna take my knife through a little bit of parsley. Just kind of set the whole thing off. That looks great. And if you love meatloaf, but don't necessarily love meat, you've got to try this vegan meatloaf burger, which sets it off is the Sir Kensington's ketchup. Off the hook, you're gonna love it.